you still haven't explained to me why you're doing this right here.
Oh yes, I'm trying to raise awareness about what's happening in North Korea.
And what's then what? What's the ultimate goal?
That's a good question. Yeah,
That's the second good question I had.
Yes.
You haven't answered the question.
I'm trying to.
Going
Yes.
around and around. And
Well, you know.
now you're-
Okay. Well, I can answer any questions you'd like, but
Rubber Ducking Podcast.
Yes.
Ask a North Korean.
Yes. Anything, but I can answer any of your questions. But can I ask you a question?
No. 'Cause
Okay.
You're the one that asked for the question.
Yes. Yeah.
So you go first.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm from North Korea. I escaped North Korea twice, and I'm going through. I'm doing this to raise awareness of what's happening in North Korea.
What's happening there?
So North Korea is a dictatorship. So North Korean people, there are people who are starving. United Nations approximate that from 1990 to early 2000, approximately 300,000 to 2 million people were starved to death.
Okay.
And the numbers are compounding until this day. And North Korean regime does not allow North Korean to leave the country. And
So you're not a citizen of North Korea then?
I'm not. Well, I escaped North Korea and I came to the United States back in 2011, and I became a U.S. citizen in 2018. And I'm trying to do this to give the voice to people who doesn't have a voice in North Korea.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have family still there?
I do not. Yes, if I had family back in North Korea, I can't do this because I will be putting this on social media and North Korean regime will watch it and they would persecute my family, right? But because I don't have a family,
Persecute your family because you're spreading the word that they're starving?
North Korean regime is a dictatorship, and in North Korea there is no freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of information, right?
Okay.
And if you were to get captured with a Bible in North Korea, you will, not just you, but including your family, will be 3 generations of your family will be end up in political prison camp.
Okay.
Because North Korean regime,
So why do they not believe in the Bible?
Because it's a dictatorship, right? Kim Jong-un, right, who is the current dictator of North Korea, because like how the dictatorship works is that you're only allowed to believe in the regime, right? You're only allowed to believe in the regime. Therefore, believing in anything else besides the government is bad.
So what do they worship?
They do not. They worship.
Jong-un?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
So what is your purpose of coming here to America to spread this word? What are you hoping to?
Hi everyone. Before we get back to the video, if you'd like to help me be a voice to voiceless North Koreans, share my story with more people, and get access to some exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. The link is going to be in the description below. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. So personally, I came to America as a refugee back in 2011, and I've gotten my citizenship in 2018. And while I was getting my citizenship and while living my life, I've given a second chance at life, right? And
In America.
In America, that's right, that's right. And I'm grateful for that. And now there are 25 million people back home who doesn't have the right opportunity as I do, right? And I'm a North Korean, and I was born and raised. I love North Korea, but I just don't like the regime, right? And in order for me to give,
How did you learn that you didn't like that regime?
after I came to, that's a great question. So when I was a child in North Korea, I was forced to believe that basically Kim Jong-il, which is father of the current dictator.
How long? Okay. Say how long has he been in the regime? The leader, the dictator
Right.
of the country.
Right. So it's been 3 generations now, right? His grandfather, his father, and then now it's Kim Jong-un, right? So when I was in North Korea, I was forced to believe that Kim Jong-il and Kim Il-sung had freed us, right? So Kim Il-sung defeated the head-to-toe armed Japanese when in fact America dropped a bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? And then ended the World War II, basically, right?
Yeah,
And
Pearl Harbor.
defeated the Japanese, right? But North Korean regime twisted that word and said, okay, so our dear leader Kim Il-sung has defeated head-to-toe armed Japanese and saved North Koreans from Americans who is continuing to
So it's a lie.
brainwash. Exactly, it's brainwashing, right? It's brainwashing, and I've been brainwashed my entire life.
Brainwashing.
Yeah, propaganda. And when I first escaped North Korea to China,
You escaped?
I escaped because they don't allow North Korean citizens to
How'd you
leave the
get out?
country. I swam across the Yalu River. Yeah, and
Swam?
I did. Yes.
How many
yes.
miles was that?
Oh, it's very narrow. So there is parts of the river that is very narrow.
Okay.
The swim didn't take like a.
How old were you?
I was 14 when I
14.
escaped first time. When I came to China, I learned that North Korea, the life that I used to live, was a lie, right? And then I got captured by Chinese regime, and I was sent back to North
So you
Korea.
use the same word twice. So you swam to a new regime.
China, yeah.
Who else was a dictatorship?
China, I don't know. Well, but I know who was the dictator in North Korea. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got captured from China, and then they sent me back to North Korea, and I went to North Korean Defectors Detention Center. It's an equivalent to prison, and while I was in there, the North Korean regime told me you can escape again, and you can escape as many times as you want, but don't get caught. If you get caught, you'll be treated you're gonna be treated worse than a bug.
Well, how are you going to know whether or not you're going to get caught?
Well,
Unless you try.
Well, because China and North Korea has this a relationship called Friends Treaty, and that means that when a North Korean person defects to China, they will capture them, deport them back, and vice versa, right?
Okay.
Not that Chinese person would defect to North Korea. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but yes,
Okay.
I escaped second time when I came to China, and then South Korean pastor found me collapsed in the middle of a road in China.
Pastor?
South Korean missionary.
South Korean.
South
Okay.
Korean missionary found me collapsed in the middle of a road. Well, Chinese man, right? A good Chinese man, good Samaritan, found me collapsed in the middle of a road, and then he connected me to a South Korean missionary, and then the South Korean missionary eventually helped me to find a broker that was helping out
And
North
you were
Korean.
in North Korea at the
I'm in
time?
China currently. Yeah. So.
Okay, so you've moved around.
Right, I did. Yes,
Okay, so I appreciate your history on North Korea and
Yes.
your life.
Yeah.
You still haven't explained to me why you're doing this right here.
Oh yes, I'm
in
trying
America.
I'm trying to raise awareness about what's happening in North Korea.
And what's then what? What's the ultimate goal?
That's a good question. Yeah,
That's the second
Yeah,
question I
yeah,
had.
yes,
You
yes,
haven't
that's a-
answered the question.
I am trying
You're
to.
going
Yes.
around and around and
Well,
telling
you
me
know-
about your
Okay, well,
life.
the ultimate goal is regime falling, right? North Korean regime falling.
Regime
By sharing the news, right, of what's happening in North Korea, I'm hoping to put external pressure into North Korea, right? Because the more people knows about it, the more people knows about the human
Who
rights
are you reaching
violation.
out to?
Audience.
Just the audience.
Right, grassroots movement.
So,
I
and
believe in
then-
the grassroots movement.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah. So I mean, the more people knows about what's happening in North Korea, the more voices we have, right? And the more voices that we have, we will be
Talking
able to
about
pressure
here.
North Korean. Well, it doesn't matter even here. I mean, the social media reaches
Well, there's
across.
a lot of North Koreans in America.
No, there's only 400.
That's it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. I'm one of the rare bird.
Rare breed that was allowed
Mm-hmm.
citizenship.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, why were you so one of the elite then?
What do you mean?
What did you do special to be given citizenship?
I
here,
escaped North Korea?
But nobody else from North Korea can.
Because they can't escape North Korea. They are not allowed to leave the country.
Well, then how are you able to do that?
I escaped North Korea. I risked my life twice
Okay.
to do so.
You're a good swimmer.
I wouldn't say that, but sure.
All right.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for your
You're
question.
very
Yeah,
welcome.
I appreciate the questions.
No problem.
And I still haven't heard from you.
About me?
Yes. What is the word that comes to your mind when you hear North Korea?
Don't know a whole lot about it.
Hmm.
I know more about South Korea.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Country, yeah.
All right. Have a good day.
Party on.